man, so what an end to the week. Bitcoin with a critical green candle here, up 2.28% Phantom, following suit with 3.64% in the green today. A really big day for the crypto market and the stock market in general. As I said, we were coming to this period of volatility leading up to the FOMC meeting. We got our first rate hike, 25 basis points, and now we're seeing green shoots of the market responding. And this is why we have to be very careful of not timing the market. You heard me say this plenty, and I'm going to prove it to you in this video exactly how quickly we can now start to move to the upside. Bitcoin has just formed something really important on the daily, which I'm going to share with you. We're coming up to a critical level on the Phantom chart as well, and covering off much more. So make sure you hit up the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget NordVPN are supporting this channel. Make sure you're staying safe in crypto. 70% off. Links in the description. Now, with that said, let's head straight into the chart, because the first thing I want to show you is that Bitcoin is now sitting close to 42,000 here on the charts. Now, let's head straight over into the hourly chart. We know we're in this wedge. We've spoken about that plenty over the last few weeks as we've been in this wedge as characterized by the white lines. But we said that within this wedge on this hourly pattern, we had to break through the 40,000 psychological level. We broke through. We got the retest. Exactly, guys. This is exactly what we said. Go watch the videos. Exactly what we said is that we'd have to break out, come get a retest. It's exactly what it's done. And now it's broken through 41,659. You can't write this stuff. Now the key level for us, as you can see, is on this hourly chart. We've got a little bit of a rejection. You can see on this candle, we got a rejection at 42,400. Now, what's the significance of that? Well, it becomes a bit more obvious on the 4-hourly chart. If I show you on the 4-hourly chart, you will see here that on the 9th of March, we got rejected exactly at 42,500. So this is going to be an important level for us to test now. You can see we're coming towards that here. We've got a little micro resistance level here on the hourly, 4-hourly chart, okay? So this is going to be a level for us to build some momentum to break through 42.5. Then we can crack on to the top of the wedge. We've got a few resistances here around 43.5, but the momentum needs to take us in this direction to the top of the wedge. Now, to remind you, the top of the wedge is a notorious one, right? We've encountered this level multiple times here. 1, 2, 3. We've been rejected every single time to the downside. But now things are different, right? Now we've been past these blue vertical lines which we had drawn, which is we've had our first interest rate hike. Things are starting to become a little bit more predictable. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look at the markets. And we can see here in the markets that, just head over into the indices. What I want to show you is that the S&P over the week is up 6.1%. The Nasdaq over the week up 8.1%. The markets really are rallying as stocks have now posted their best week since 2020. Okay, we're starting to see good tonalities here. We're seeing the Dow Jones was up 0.8% today, S&P up 1.25% almost here, and 2% plus on the Nasdaq. Things are recovering powerfully. This is a strong movement and indication from the markets that they're starting to see less uncertainty. How else do we know that? Also look at the VIX. The VIX is your volatility index, falling 7% here on the day, which is a good sign. We're seeing positive comments and rhetoric coming from Putin and Zelensky around the Ukraine crisis. They're starting to communicate. We're starting to hear of ways of getting towards a ceasefire, which is all positive signs. With some analysts even saying, I'm no geopolitical expert, but some analysts even saying could be done by April, May time. Okay, so at least we're starting to get some dates. Things are starting to happen. It's just not escalation after escalation after escalation. But we still have to be very cautious with the war impacts on investment. Fear and greed index. Let's take a look at the fear and greed index. Currently sitting at 25. Okay, so still hovering around that level. It's not going to quickly go through the levels all the way up to green. It's still going to take its time to build itself back up. But a few more green days like we've seen today on crypto, and you'll definitely see this start to get back into the 30s and the 40s here on the fear and greed index. Now, as we know, if we can break the top of this wedge from a technical perspective, our measured move price target is 52,700, okay? That's your measured move from this wedge. And we know that the majority of the time, this has a 2/3 of a bias to break to the upside, okay? This technical pattern, 2/3 of the time will statistically break to the upside. Now, of course, we were getting nervous when we were spending so much time at the bottom of the wedge that we could have fell to the downside. I made you guys clear of that, and we could have easily fell to 32, 33 range. But it was just the market getting very nervy around the interest rates. Had Powell had said something really, really hawkish or did a double rate hike, that was our destiny down there. But he didn't, and now we can work our way up. We're well above 40,000 now, fighting at the 42 level. Like I said, there's some resistance at 42.5. Then we can work towards 44.5 here on Bitcoin. Now, what does that mean for some of our favorite altcoins? Well, we know that Phantom has now moved up 4%. And it's a really good move here on Phantom. Let's just get zoomed in on this chart. And as you can see, we had lows here of Phantom as low as 103, and then we started collecting some support around 116. We ran up to 126, fell back down to close to 116, and now we're sitting again comfortably at 125-ish range. We know the 125 is an important level for us. That dates back to when we were in this falling wedge, which was back in December. And we know it's an important level for us, even dating previously to that from September, October time of 2021. So we know this is an important support level. It's a good level of building momentum for Phantom. And this is the level where it's probably going to settle at whilst Bitcoin remains at this price. Now, what we need is if Bitcoin can work its way towards 44.5, as I've just explained, that should give us the permission to head up to 147 and then 165 here on Phantom. Now, why is that significant? Well, the significance is as follows. We head over to the daily chart here on Phantom. You will see here that we're significantly still retraced below our EMA ribbon. And this partly is due to the sell-off and the FUD we had around the Andre Cronje issue. That has probably put us at about 20 to 20% off. Some of that's been called back up, but that really did throw us off a little bit because Phantom was one of those which is holding up pretty well compared to many other altcoins. Remember, I was showing you that on, let's see if I can pull that up on the on this chart here. Let's give it a quick refresh. Remember, Phantom was doing really well. It was in the green. Now we can see Phantom slightly in the red, but it's still much better than all of these other coins from the top 50 performers, okay? So it's not as good as these coins here now due to obviously what happened with the Andre Cronje issue, but it's still only slightly underperforming Bitcoin. So it's almost at par with Bitcoin over the last 90 days. So good strength still here from Phantom. Now, the reason that's important on the hourly chart is if we can get a close above 147 and work our way to 165, we'll be making good inroads back into our EMA ribbon. Now, the thing we'll need to be careful of is not getting rejected from our EMA ribbon and creating a lower low. That's not what we want. Ideally, we're not out of the woods until we post a higher high. And the higher high on the daily chart is to start working our way back to higher than this candle here. And the high on this candle was 207, okay? So let's call it 208. That's our support line, which we know is important, this one here. If we can work our way above there and get a close at 208 or higher, then we've managed to reverse this rut and be able to start working our way back, retest 208, and head to the upside. To do that, we're going to need a significant tailwind. We're going to need Bitcoin to do its work. But here's the good thing. Look at Bitcoin's daily chart and look at the EMA ribbon. Bitcoin is getting a close. As long as it can hold on to this over the next 3 hours now, we can get a close. We can get a close on this candle well above our EMA ribbon. And that could set us up for a big move to the upside. Remember, not every time, but when you do see big movements, often it starts with a nice big green candle above the EMA ribbon, then causes the ribbon to flip from bearish to bullish. You get the big extension on the ribbon and a big move in price. So that's what we're looking at here from a technical perspective on Bitcoin. We've got a few micro battles, like I shared with you, 41,659. We seem to be above that. Can we hold above that? Can we work towards 43 and 43.5 once we've beaten this level here? And then can we get to the top of the wedge, break through 44.5? If we need to break out of this pattern, retest the top of the wedge, and then work its way higher, that would be a perfect move for Bitcoin. The market's got its direction it needs. It doesn't need to be in these false start environments anymore. It doesn't need that uncertainty. We should be able to turn risk on now, assuming there's no more geopolitical issues, right? China doesn't suddenly start helping Russia loads and there's fallout or there's some sort of NATO issues or World War III or escalation. That will obviously throw us off. But assuming this stays muted for the time being and stocks can start turning risk on, investors have everything they need to move to the upside. They know they've got a 0.25% interest rate hike. They know to probably expect another 6 more of those this year. They know the economy is strong. They know from what Jerome Powell said, consumers have more money than ever before in their pockets. Businesses have strong balance sheets. Aggregate demand is strong. The labor markets are strong. So the economy, all the indications are showing we have a strong economy. there's nothing to be worried about by a 0.25% interest rate. We're going to work our way towards a 1.9% interest rate by the end of the year. Investors love that because they can plan for it. They can position their investments in a way that we can then be risk on, and that should be great for crypto. So that's what we're looking out for here on the charts. If you appreciate this blend between technicals and fundamentals, make sure you smash up the like button and subscribe. As always, I've just come from a 7-hour drive and jumped straight on my desk here to give you guys the update on what happened here on a Friday night. So smash up the like buttons and subscribe. We've got some great videos coming over the weekend on Phantom, so make sure you stay tuned. We're going to break down what Michael Kong said. I'm also going to link up a video at the end of this video, so make sure you click the end card and watch that one. You don't want to miss out on what's in that video. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.